Think about it. The average human lifespan is about 70 to 80 years. That's around 28,000 to 29,000 days. Now let's break it down. About 25 years are spent sleeping, 10 years working, 9 years watching TV and scrolling through social media, 4 years wasted on trivial activities that add no value, and for many, only a few years, if any, are truly spent pursuing their purpose. So I ask again, how much of your time is truly invested in what matters? How much of it is spent chasing your goals, fulfilling your purpose, and walking in alignment with God's plan for your life? Many people wake up one day and realize they've wasted years, but by then, time is gone. And time, once lost, can never be regained. I once heard the story of a man named John. He had big dreams. He wanted to start a business, write a book, and serve in ministry, but he kept postponing. Every year he said, next year I'll start. Next year became 5 years. 5 years became 10. Before he knew it, he was in his late 50s, looking back with deep regret. He had wasted decades doing nothing meaningful. Then tragedy struck. John got seriously ill. As he lay in his hospital bed, he whispered with tears in his eyes, I thought I had more time. But the truth is, time waits for no one. The dreams he once had, the ones he kept postponing, died with him. Some of you listening to me today are in the same danger. You keep saying, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next year, and next year turns into never. The Bible gives us a clear warning about how precious time is. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 says, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. This means that every moment of your life has a purpose, and if you're wasting time, you're wasting your purpose. Jesus himself said in John 9 verse 4, we must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work. There will come a time when you can no longer work, no longer chase your dreams, no longer take action. The night is coming. And the worst feeling in the world is to wake up one day and realize it's too late. So today I want to challenge you. What are you doing with your time? Are you using it wisely or letting distractions and excuses steal your destiny? If you keep going at the same pace you are now, where will your life be 5 years from now? You see, life doesn't wait. Time is passing whether you use it well or waste it. So I'll ask you again. If today was your last day, would you be proud of how you spent your time? If the answer is no, then it's time to wake up. You don't have another year to waste. You don't have another 5 years to throw away. Your purpose is waiting, and God is calling. The question is, will you answer, or will you continue wasting time? It's time to focus on your goals. It's time to elevate your life. It's time to stop waiting and start moving. Because tomorrow is not promised, and the time to act is now. The urgency of time. Time is the most valuable resource you have. It is more precious than money, more valuable than material possessions, and once lost, it can never be recovered. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose possessions and regain them. But the moment time slips through your fingers, it is gone forever. Yet so many people waste time as if they have an endless supply of it. They live as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if they have all the time in the world to fulfill their purpose, chase their dreams, and become all that God created them to be. But the reality is, time is running out. The Bible warns us about this. Ephesians 5:16 says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. That means we must be intentional about how we use our time, because the world is full of distractions, delays, and deceptions that can keep us from fulfilling our purpose. Psalm 90:12 says, teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. In other words, when you understand how short life is, you will live wisely. But the sad truth is, most people only realize the value of time when it's too late. Let me share a true story with you. There was a man named David. He was highly talented, full of potential, and had big dreams. From a young age, he knew God had called him to do great things, but he kept procrastinating. Every year, he told himself, I will start next year. He had plans to start a business, travel the world, and impact lives, but he never took action. One day, at just 43 years old, David was diagnosed with a terminal illness. The doctor gave him only 6 months to live. Suddenly, he realized all the time he had wasted. He wanted to start his business, but now he didn't have the energy. He wanted to travel, but now his body was too weak. He wanted to serve God, but now his days were numbered. In his final moments, David whispered to a friend, if only I had used my time wisely. If only I had started when I had the chance. If only I had understood that time waits for no one. Luke 14, verse 28 says, for which of you, intending to build a tower, does not sit down first and count the cost? Success requires planning and discipline. Take action immediately. Do not wait for the perfect moment. It will never come. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is now. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 4 says, whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. That means if you keep waiting for the right conditions, you will never move forward. Take action. Start small if you have to, but start today. God has placed a purpose inside you. He has given you dreams, talents, and a destiny to fulfill. But if you waste time, you will never see the fullness of what God has planned for you. Let today be the day you decide to change. Let today be the day you stop wasting time. Let today be the day you choose to focus on your goals and elevate your life. Because time is running out and you will never get it back. Now let's look at distractions as it impacts on your life purpose. Have you ever wondered why it seems so hard to stay focused on your purpose? Why does it feel like every time you try to move forward, something pulls you back? The truth is, distractions are one of the greatest weapons that can rob you of your destiny. Distractions are subtle. They do not always come in obvious ways. Sometimes they appear in the form of harmless entertainment, toxic relationships, endless procrastination, or even fear disguised as comfort. If you are not careful, distractions will slowly steal your time, energy, and focus, leaving you far from the purpose God has for you. Let's talk about some of the biggest distractions that are stealing your time and keeping you from walking in purpose. Social media and entertainment. We live in a world where constant notifications, endless scrolling, and mindless entertainment have become the norm. People spend hours watching videos, checking updates, and engaging in meaningless arguments online. Yet they say they don't have time to pray, to read, or to work on their dreams. There is nothing wrong with social media when used wisely. But when it consumes more of your time than your purpose, your spiritual growth, and your productivity, then it has become a distraction. Unhealthy relationships. Who you surround yourself with affects your direction in life. Some people are in friendships and relationships that drain them emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Instead of pushing them toward their goals, these relationships pull them into negativity, gossip, and wasted time. Look at Lot's wife in Genesis 19, verse 26. She had the opportunity to leave a place of destruction and step into a new life. But she was too attached to her past. She looked back. And in that moment, she lost everything. How many people today are stuck because they are holding on to relationships that God told them to leave? If you are constantly distracted by toxic people, you will never be able to focus on the great things God has planned for you. Now let's look at the impact of procrastination and fear. One of the biggest distractions in life is putting things off until later. Some people have big dreams, powerful ideas, and a clear vision of what they should do, but they never take action. They tell themselves, I will start tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week, then next year, and eventually nothing changes. Proverbs 6, verse 9 to 11 warns against laziness, saying, "How long will you sleep, O sluggard? When will you arise out of your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber." When you delay your purpose, you are allowing distractions to win. God has given you time, but it is up to you to use it wisely. The power of purpose. While distractions waste your life, purpose gives your life meaning. Purpose is what wakes you up in the morning with excitement. Purpose gives you clarity and direction. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 reminds us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope." God created you with a purpose, but if you spend your days lost in distractions, you will never fulfill it. Let me share the story of someone who chose purpose over distractions. There was a young man who had a dream of becoming a doctor. He had the intelligence, the passion, and the drive, but he also had distractions. He spent most of his time partying, watching TV, and wasting hours on things that didn't matter. Every year he promised himself that he would get serious next year, but years passed and he had nothing to show for it. One day he had a wake-up call. He met an old friend who had stayed focused, worked hard, and was now a successful surgeon. That friend asked him, "What happened to your dream?" That question shook him. He realized that he had wasted years on distractions while his purpose was waiting for him. From that day, he made a decision: no more distractions. He deleted the unnecessary apps on his phone. He stopped hanging around negative influences. He created a plan, stayed disciplined, and within a few years, he achieved his goal. What about you? Are you allowing distractions to steal your destiny? How to cut off distractions and focus on purpose. If you are serious about fulfilling your purpose, then you must learn how to cut off distractions. Identify your biggest distractions. What is stealing your time? Be honest with yourself. If something is not adding value to your life, reduce or remove it. Set clear goals. When you don't have a clear destination, it's easy to get distracted. Write down your goals and review them daily. Stay focused on where you are going. Surround yourself with purpose-driven people. If your friends are focused, disciplined, and driven, you will be too. But if your circle is full of people who waste time, you will do the same. Prioritize your time with God. Spending time with God in prayer and studying His Word brings clarity. The more connected you are to God, the clearer your purpose will become. Distractions will always exist. There will always be something trying to steal your time and attention. But the choice is yours. Will you allow distractions to control you, or will you rise up and walk in your purpose? God has a plan for you, but He will not force you to fulfill it. You must decide. What will you choose today? Distractions or purpose? Taking action from distraction to destiny. It is not enough to simply recognize distractions. You must take intentional steps to remove them and step fully into your purpose. Many people hear messages like this, feel inspired for a moment, but then go right back to the same distractions that have held them back for years. But today, you must decide that you will no longer let distractions dictate your life. Think about this. If God were to ask you right now, what have you done with the time I have given you? What would your answer be? Have you used your time wisely, or have you allowed meaningless distractions to steal your destiny? In Matthew 25, verse 14 to 30, Jesus shares the parable of the talents. A master gives 3 servants different amounts of money, expecting them to invest and multiply what they have. 2 of the servants used their time wisely and increased what they were given. But the 3rd servant, out of fear and laziness, buries his talent and does nothing with it. When the master returns, he rewards the 2 who made progress, but casts out the one who wasted his opportunity. This parable is about stewardship, time, and purpose. God has given you time, gifts, and abilities, but what are you doing with them? Now let's look at the cost of distractions. Distractions don't just waste time, they delay destiny. Every moment spent scrolling mindlessly, entertaining toxic relationships, or procrastinating is a moment that could have been invested in building the life God created you for. Look at Esau in Genesis 25, verse 29 to 34. He traded his birthright, his divine inheritance, for a single meal. In one moment of distraction and carelessness, he gave away what was meant to bless him for a lifetime. How many people today are trading their divine destiny for temporary pleasures, wasting their time on things that do not matter, while their God-given purpose is waiting for them? Distractions make you feel comfortable while stealing your future. Now let's delve into the power of focus. Every great man or woman who accomplished something significant had to learn the power of focus. In Nehemiah 6, verse 3, Nehemiah was building the wall when his enemies tried to distract him. But he responded with a powerful statement: I am doing a great work and I cannot come down. That must be your mindset. When distractions call, when negativity tries to pull you away from your purpose, you must say, I am doing a great work and I cannot come down. Jesus himself was the greatest example of focus. Throughout his ministry, he refused to be distracted. He had one mission: to do the will of the Father. Even when people misunderstood him, even when the enemy tempted him, even when the cross was before him, he remained focused. Luke 9, verse 62 says, no one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. If you keep looking back, if you keep entertaining distractions, you will never move forward. Now let's go into the practical steps to break free from distractions. Set clear priorities by identifying what truly matters in your life. If it is not helping you grow spiritually, mentally, or physically, it may be a distraction. Create boundaries by learning to say no to things and people that do not align with your purpose. Not everyone deserves access to your time. Manage your time wisely. Ephesians 5, verse 16 says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Plan your days with intention. Schedule time for personal growth, prayer, and productivity. Disconnect from unnecessary noise by reducing social media, mindless entertainment, and unproductive conversations. Use technology to work for you, not against you. Surround yourself with purpose-driven people. Proverbs 27, verse 17 says, iron sharpens iron. If you walk with focused, disciplined people, you will become the same. Seek God daily. When you stay close to God, you gain divine direction. Spend time in prayer and the Word, and He will show you how to move forward. Are you ready to choose purpose? Today you have a choice. Will you continue allowing distractions to dictate your life, or will you rise up and take hold of your purpose? God has called you for more. He has placed greatness within you, but it is up to you to stay focused and walk in it. It's time to stop wasting time. It's time to focus on your goals. It's time to elevate your life. The power of focus, mastering your destiny. What is the difference between those who succeed and those who fail? Why do some people rise above challenges while others remain stuck in mediocrity? The answer is focus. Focus is the ability to direct your energy, time, and resources toward a specific goal without getting distracted. It is the force that separates dreamers from achievers, the distracted from the determined. Those who master focus master their destiny. Have you ever started something with passion only to lose interest when distractions crept in? Have you ever set a goal but allowed setbacks, opinions, or unnecessary commitments to pull you away? If you don't control your focus, life will control it for you. The power of saying, I cannot come down. One of the most powerful examples of focus in the Bible is Nehemiah. Nehemiah was on a mission to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. The enemies of progress tried to distract him, to lure him away from his work, to intimidate him into stopping. But Nehemiah responded with a statement that should be the motto of your life. I am doing a great work and cannot come down. Nehemiah 6 verse 3. That is the mindset of a focused person. Distractions will always come. Temptations, gossip, negativity, time wasters. But you must declare, I am doing a great work and I cannot come down. When you are focused, you don't have time for nonsense. You don't entertain distractions. You don't waste time arguing with people who do not matter. You are building something great, your future, your purpose, your success. Focus is the secret of the greats. Every person who has accomplished something significant in life has one thing in common. They mastered focus. Look at athletes, business leaders, inventors, and spiritual giants. They didn't achieve success by being everywhere, doing everything, and entertaining distractions. They locked in on their goals and refused to be moved. Take Thomas Edison, for example. It took him over 10,000 attempts to perfect the light bulb. Imagine if he had given up after the first failure. Imagine if he had been distracted by critics, doubts, or temporary pleasures. He saw his vision so clearly that nothing could pull him away. Or consider Michael Jordan. He was cut from his high school basketball team, but instead of giving up, he focused training harder, practicing relentlessly, refusing to let failure define him. That focus made him one of the greatest athletes in history. And in the spiritual realm, Jesus Christ himself was the greatest example of focus. Luke 9 verse 51 says, Jesus set his face toward Jerusalem. He knew his mission. He didn't allow distractions, temptations, or even the opinions of others to derail him. His eyes were fixed on his purpose. And because of his focus, salvation came to the world. Now let me ask you, what is your focus? Are you chasing after things that don't matter? Are you allowing distractions to steal your destiny? Or are you fully committed to the purpose God has placed in your heart? Now, let's look at how to develop laser focus. If you want to see real transformation in your life, you must develop the discipline of focus. Here are 3 powerful strategies to help you. Define your purpose and prioritize it. You cannot focus if you don't know what you're aiming for. Write down your vision. What has God called you to do? What goals do you need to accomplish? Philippians 3 verse 13 to 14 says, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me. Let go of distractions from your past and press forward. Make your purpose a priority. Schedule your time around what matters most, not what feels urgent. Cut off every distraction that slows you down. Distractions are dream killers. They don't always appear as bad things. Sometimes they come disguised as entertainment, toxic relationships, social media, or procrastination. Hebrews 12 verse 1 says, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. If it does not add to your destiny, it is subtracting from it. Make a decision today to eliminate every unnecessary distraction. Discipline yourself to stay consistent. Focus is not just about starting strong, it's about staying the course. It takes discipline to keep going when you feel tired, unmotivated, or discouraged. Proverbs 4 verse 25 says, let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Every day, remind yourself of why you started. Set specific goals and stick to them. Wake up early, plan your days. Stay connected to God through prayer and His Word. Surround yourself with people who push you toward greatness, not those who drain your energy. Your time is now. You are doing a great work. You cannot come down. God has placed a calling on your life, but it is up to you to stay focused and pursue it. The distractions will come, the obstacles will rise, but if you keep your eyes on the goal, nothing can stop you. So today, make a decision. Will you continue wasting time on things that do not matter, or will you commit to the power of focus? Your success, your future, your impact, it all starts with what you choose to focus on today. Now is the time. Rise up, focus, and elevate your life. The cost of losing focus. Before we move forward, let's pause for a moment and reflect on the consequences of losing focus. What happens when you allow distractions to take over your life? What is the price of divided attention? The truth is, losing focus is costly. It doesn't just delay success, it can destroy it altogether. Many people are not failing because they lack potential or opportunity, but because they are too distracted to pursue their calling with full force. Look at Samson in Judges 16. He was anointed with supernatural strength to deliver Israel. His mission was clear, but what happened? Distraction entered his life in the form of Delilah. Instead of focusing on his purpose, he entertained something that slowly drained him of power. In the end, he lost his strength, his vision, and ultimately his life. Distraction weakens you. It blinds you to the dangers ahead. It slowly pulls you away from purpose until you wake up one day realizing that years have passed and you have nothing to show for it. That is why you must protect your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. The enemy of your destiny is distraction. In Matthew 14, verse 29 to 30, Peter walked on water toward Jesus. He was doing the impossible, but then what happened? When he saw the wind, he was afraid and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Peter didn't sink because the water was unstable. He sank because he shifted his focus. The moment he took his eyes off Jesus and started looking at the storm, he began to fail. How many people have started strong in life, business, or ministry, but because they became distracted by temporary problems, they began to sink? How many destinies have been lost because of divided attention? Distraction is the enemy of elevation. It keeps you running in circles, working hard but going nowhere. That is why the devil is not necessarily trying to destroy you. He just wants to distract you long enough that you destroy yourself. What happens when you master focus? But here's the good news. The moment you eliminate distractions and lock in on your purpose, your life will transform. When you develop focus, you become unstoppable. You start seeing opportunities you never noticed before. Your energy shifts. Your confidence increases. And most importantly, you begin walking in alignment with God's will. Proverbs 16, verse 3 says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." This means when you focus on God's purpose, He takes care of the rest. The 3 laws of unstoppable focus. If you truly want to elevate your life, you must adopt these 3 focus principles. Number 1, the law of vision. Know where you're going. You cannot focus if you don't have a clear destination. Define your vision. What has God placed in your heart? What is the mission He has given you? Habakkuk 2, verse 2 says, "Write the vision and make it plain." Write down your goals. Keep them before you every day. Remind yourself of why you started. Number 2, the law of discipline. Say no to distraction. Discipline is the ability to say no to anything that does not serve your purpose. Jesus had to say no to distractions to fulfill His mission. He could have been caught up in political debates, arguments, or trivial matters, but He was too focused on His assignment. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 9 verse 24 to 27, I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest when I have preached to others, I myself should become disqualified. If you want to be great, you must discipline yourself. Cut off the habits, people, and activities that are stealing your time and energy. Number 3, the law of consistency. Keep pushing forward. Focus is not about one-time effort. It's about consistency. You don't succeed by focusing for 1 week and then getting distracted the next. Galatians 6 verse 9 says, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Success belongs to those who stay focused long enough to see results. Now is the time to take action. Enough of letting distractions rob you of your greatness. It's time to take back control of your focus. Imagine what your life could look like if you committed to your goals with unwavering focus. Imagine the opportunities, the breakthroughs, the impact you could make. You have wasted enough time. Now is the moment to rise up and step into the future God has prepared for you. Declare this today. I am doing a great work and I cannot come down. Your future is waiting for you. Stay focused and elevate your life, overcoming fear and doubt. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if I fail? What if I step out and things don't work the way I hoped? What if I don't have enough resources, experience, or support? Let me remind you of something. Fear is the enemy of faith. When Peter walked on water in Matthew 14, verse 29, he was fine until he started focusing on the wind and the waves. The moment he doubted, he began to sink. Doubt will always try to talk you out of taking action. But if God gave you the vision, he has already provided the provision. You may not see everything yet, but faith is stepping out before everything is clear. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for everything to line up. Stop waiting for approval from others. If David had waited for approval from his brothers, he would never have faced Goliath. If Peter had waited for the sea to calm down, he would never have walked on water. If Abraham had waited for a full roadmap, he would never have left his homeland to follow God's promise. Genesis 12, verse 1 to 4. God rewards those who move in faith. The difference between success and regret. One day you will look back at your life and there will be 2 things in your heart. Number 1, satisfaction because you took action and lived out your purpose. Number 2, regret because you let fear, doubt, and procrastination hold you back. Imagine standing before God and realizing that he had so much more for you, but you never stepped out to receive it. Imagine realizing that the doors you were praying for had already been unlocked. You just never turned the handle. God has given you everything you need, but he will not force you to move. 3 powerful steps to faith in action. If you're wondering where to start, here are 3 simple but powerful steps. Number 1, clarify your vision. Ask yourself, what is God calling me to do? If you don't know, spend time in prayer and reflection. Write down your goals. Make them clear. A vision that is not written down is just a dream. Habakkuk 2 verse 2 says, write the vision and make it plain. Number 2, take the first step. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. If you want to start a business, register the name. If you want to write a book, start with the first page. If you want to grow spiritually, commit to a deeper prayer life today. Stop overthinking. Stop overanalyzing. Start moving. Number 3, trust God with the process. You won't always have all the answers, but if you move in obedience, God will guide you. Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. The final call to action. So here's my question for you. What are you going to do with this message? Will you let it inspire you for a moment and then go back to life as usual? Or will you rise up, take action, and move toward your destiny? Because the truth is, no one else can live your purpose for you. No one else can step into your calling. No one else can achieve what God has placed inside of you. You must decide, will you be a person of faith and action? This is your time. This is your season. This is your moment. Take the step, move forward, and watch God move in your life like never before. Overcoming procrastination and excuses. Procrastination, the silent dream killer. Excuses, the chains that keep us from moving forward. We've all been there. You know what you need to do, but you keep pushing it off. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, next month, and before you know it, years have passed, and you're still in the same place. How many of us are sitting on ideas, visions, and dreams that God placed in our hearts, yet we keep postponing? How many of us keep waiting for the perfect time, but that time never comes? Let me tell you something. Procrastination is not just a bad habit. It is a destiny destroyer. The decline of later. The greatest lie procrastination tells you is that you have more time. But the truth is, time is the one thing you can never get back. Once it's gone forever. The Bible warns us about this in Proverbs 6, verse 6 to 8. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Look at the ants, small, insignificant creatures, yet they have a sense of urgency. They don't wait until winter to start gathering food. They prepare in advance. They don't make excuses. They don't delay. But how many of us are still saying, I'll start saving next year. I'll go back to school when the time is right. I'll start that business when I feel more prepared. Let me ask you this. If not now, when? Excuses will rob you of your future. Excuses are comfortable. They give us a reason to stay where we are. But guess what? Your excuses are costing you your future. I once heard the story of a man who had a vision to start a business. He talked about it for years. Every time someone asked him, he had a new excuse. The economy is bad. I need to do more research. I'm waiting for the right time. Years passed, and he watched someone else start the same business he had been dreaming of. The difference? That person didn't wait for perfect conditions. They started with what they had, learned along the way, and succeeded. This man was left with nothing but regret. How many of us are delaying because of fear, doubt, or excuses? The power of immediate action. The enemy loves procrastination because he knows as long as you delay, you will never fulfill God's purpose for your life. But today I challenge you. Break free from the trap of excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Here's a simple strategy to overcome procrastination and take action immediately. Number one, start small, but start now. Don't wait until you have everything figured out. Start with what you have. If you want to write a book, write 1 page today. If you want to grow spiritually, start by praying for 5 minutes today. If you want to start a business, research 1 small step today. Number 2, set a deadline and commit to it. Goals without deadlines remain dreams. If you don't schedule it, you won't do it. Write down your goals, set a time frame, and stick to it. Number 3, remove distractions and accountability. Social media, endless entertainment, and unhealthy habits are stealing your time. Cut them off. Surround yourself with people who will push you toward your goals, not people who keep you comfortable in excuses. The time to move is now. You don't have forever. The clock is ticking. If you keep waiting, you may wake up one day and realize you wasted the best years of your life. God has given you everything you need. He has placed greatness inside of you, but He won't force you to act. The choice is yours. Will you keep making excuses, or will you take action today? No more delay, no more waiting. Now is your time. Stop waiting, start moving. Enough is enough. It's time to stop waiting and start walking in your purpose. Look at the great men and women in the Bible. None of them waited for perfect conditions to act. Moses didn't wait until he had public speaking skills before leading Israel out of Egypt. David didn't wait until he was fully trained before facing Goliath. Peter didn't wait until he had all the courage in the world before stepping out of the boat. What did they all have in common? They moved. Faith in action. James 2 verse 26 says, faith without works is dead. You can believe all you want, but if you don't take action, your faith is useless. Think about Noah. God told him to build an ark because a flood was coming. If Noah had delayed and kept saying, I'll start tomorrow, the flood would have destroyed him along with everyone else. Noah didn't procrastinate. He started building. That's the mindset you must have. If God has given you a vision, a dream, or a calling, it's not enough to just believe in it. You must take steps toward it. Now let's look at the cost of delay. The Bible warns us about the danger of procrastination. Proverbs 24 verse 30 to 34 says, I went past the field of a sluggard, past the vineyard of someone who has no sense. Thorns had come up everywhere, the ground was covered with weeds, and the stone wall was in ruins. I applied my heart to what I observed and learned a lesson from what I saw, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. Do you see what happens when we delay? When we keep putting things off, our lives become like that neglected field, overgrown with weeds, full of regret, and lacking in productivity. No more excuses. Choose action today. It's time to make a decision. No more waiting, no more excuses, no more wasted time. Ask yourself, what is one thing I've been procrastinating on that I can start today? What distractions do I need to remove to stay focused? Who can I be accountable to so I don't fall back into excuses? Stop saying one day and make today that day. God has given you a purpose. The world is waiting for what you carry. Don't let procrastination and excuses rob you of the greatness inside of you. Start now. Move forward. Step into your destiny.